Hi, I'm Jennifer Bourne, and I am glad you're here. Today, I am talking about 13 different sales tactics you can use to get more freelance clients. Now, most freelancers dislike everything about the sales process, but they love the result, right? Gaining a new client. So while you probably might feel a little uncomfortable and icky about sales calls, they are a necessary part of doing business, especially if you want to stay in business. Now, I'm one of those freelancers who doesn't particularly enjoy the sales process. I don't want to have to convince somebody else that I'm worth investing in or worth hiring. I don't want to have to regale somebody with tales of my greatness and my success. Like, ew, that feels gross. And I don't want to have to spend hours jumping through hoops or sitting on multiple long phone calls or in meetings with somebody who might not ever hire me. The problem is, clients are the greatest asset of any service-based freelance business. And because I want to land new clients and I want to stay in business, I know that I needed to get comfortable with sales, right? I needed to get comfortable with sales conversations or at least shorten the sales cycle so I could close sales faster and get on with doing the fun stuff, the work that I do for clients. So here are 13 different sales tactics that you can use to shorten the sales cycle and get more freelance clients. Number one, build rapport with testimonials. Testimonials that demonstrate a before, during, and after helps your prospective clients see themselves achieving the same kind of results if they decide to work with you. This recognition of value and possible achievement will help build a relationship with that prospective client before they even contact you. By leveraging testimonials that tell stories on your website, in your marketing materials, and in your lead generation, even in your proposals and sales contracts too, you can remind your prospective clients that you've helped other people achieve the same kind of goals that they want to achieve. Number two, you can build trust with case studies. Every little bit of effort put into your sales and marketing needs to be aimed at building trust and positioning you as an undeniable expert, as the only choice in the eyes of your ideal clients. So when prospective clients come to the sales call already trusting you, they are able to go deeper about their needs and they're able to have a more productive sales conversation with you. Now, case studies are one of the most effective ways to quickly build trust, showcase your expertise, and encourage prospects to reach out. Case studies give you the opportunity to walk a prospect through your process step by step in a non-salesy, non-threatening way. You can also show prospects what you can do for them, what kind of skill set you have, what kind of expertise you have, and what kind of results they can achieve. You can also demonstrate what's possible that they may not have even thought of yet and inspire them to take action and contact you. Number three, you can provide an FAQ. When a prospective client fills out your project inquiry form, consider providing an FAQ that they can download or check out on the thank you page. By giving them a list of commonly asked questions up front, you're allowing that prospective client to learn a little bit more about you, right? You're setting some of their concerns or fear at ease. You're demonstrating your attention to detail and your care and professionalism, and you're building excitement about the sales call. An FAQ sheet will also answer some of the basic questions that prospective clients might have before they even get to the sales call, which allows you to have that sales call not focused on answering their questions and actually being, salesy, but it allows you to focus on the most important information that you need to talk about with the client, right? The project requirements, the budget, the timeline, the goals of the project, what they need to achieve. The fourth sales tactic is to identify all of the stakeholders associated with the project. Have you ever gotten like 30 or 40 minutes into a sales call only to discover that you're not talking to the person who actually is going to make the decision of whether or not to hire you? That drives me crazy. Or maybe have you ever gotten partway through a project only to have someone you've never ever heard of step in and start making changes or blow the whole thing up partway through? That drives me crazy too. If this has ever happened to you, there are two things that you need to do during the sales process to prevent that from happening again. First, make sure you're speaking with the primary stakeholders and main decision makers on that sales call. That way you can hopefully eliminate some of that future miscommunication or misunderstanding. You want to make sure that from the very start, from the very first sales call all the way through the project, that the person that is paying your bill understands the full scope of work, the budget, and the timeline. Also, make sure that you identify all stakeholders associated with the project, right? This isn't about, one person making a decision. There might be a committee of people that have to review it, or a group of people, or your contact may have a boss that they have to report to. Ask upfront who the stakeholders will be in the project, who gets to have an opinion about the work that you're doing. Find that out upfront. The easiest is just to ask on the sales call, is this everybody that makes decisions regarding this project? Is there anybody else that may show up midway through the project and is going to be involved? The fifth sales tactic is focusing on the client's why and their needs. Now, contrary to popular belief, the sales call isn't about what you do and why you're great. It's about the client and why they're contacting you now, what project they have, why this need is so important that they reached out to you, and what the difference getting it done will make in their actual business. On a successful sales call, there needs to be a natural give and take in the conversation. But overall, you need to be asking questions, and the client should be doing most of the talking. So in the first half of the sales call, you're keeping the conversation focused totally on the client, their why and their needs for this project. Then in the second half of the call, after you've listened, validated, and made an emotional connection with the client, then it's time to talk about features, specifics, requirements, budget, and timeline so you can create an accurate proposal. Number 6, create unique packages. Many times when prospects reach out about working with you, they're also reaching out to your competitors. They're reaching out to other freelancers who do the same thing that you do. They want to speak with you and receive a proposal so they can compare your proposal side by side with your competitors. Now, comparing apples to apples is easy. Comparing apples to fully cooked meals, that is way more difficult. By creating unique packages and bundling your services together, it becomes a lot more difficult for prospective clients to just compare two proposals side by side, figure out which one's cheaper, and hire them. You don't want that to happen because when you're competing on price, usually the lowest person always wins, and you never want to be the lowest price because it usually means you're working too cheap. So when you package everything together, your prospects have to evaluate the value that that package is delivering to them, and it's harder to have that side-by-side comparison. So number 7, you want to offer limited time rewards. If a potential client is still on the fence, offer them limited time reward or a fast action kind of gift, right? Offer them something awesome that they will receive only if they sign the contract or take action by a certain date. A limited time offer could look something like, if we get a signed contract by this date, we can begin your project by a certain date. Include a small extra feature at no extra charge. Get the project done by a certain date. Add an additional add-on service for a discount. Include another service without extending the launch date of a website if that's what you're doing. Sales tactic number 8, increase the project value with bonuses. So consider adding bonus items in your packages to not only set yourself apart from your competition, but to make it a total no-brainer to hire you. Any bonuses offered needs to be relevant to the prospective client's project that they're hiring for you for at that moment. And it needs to help them move forward in their business in a meaningful way, to get closer to achieving their overall business goals. Consider offering bonuses like checklists and templates, ebooks, reports, white papers, how-to guides, manuals, resources and tools, training sessions, webinars, or a free copy of a program or a course or a product that you sell. Sales tactic 9, train prospects to say yes throughout the whole sales process, right? The entire sales call that you have with clients comes down to getting the prospective client to say yes and to hire you. So train your client along the way by providing lots of little opportunities for them to say yes throughout the sales call. This way, when the time comes to say yes to hiring you and parting with their cash, it feels natural and easy. To do this, you can simply ask short questions throughout the conversations. So you can ask things like, is this right? Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't you agree? Are we on the same page? Does that make sense? How does that sound? And the client's going to keep answering yes, yes, yes. And when you say, are you ready to get started? They can say yes. Sales tactic number 10 is to provide payment options, right? Make it easy for your prospective clients to say yes by eliminating pricing objections and offering flexible payment options and payment plans. So accept a variety of different kinds of payment options: cash, check, credit cards, bank transfer, PayPal, anything that you can do. And then offer payment plans based on project milestones or by dates, whatever it is. Just be flexible with the payments, right? The easier you make it for the client, the closer you can meet them to where they are most comfortable, the more likely it is that they're going to say yes and give you their hard-earned money. All right. Sales tactic number 11, leverage urgency and scarcity. Using urgency and scarcity is a sales tactic that works like a charm, but only if it's done with integrity. Being dishonest and deceitful about urgency and scarcity is one of the quickest ways to lose trust and lose a potential client. In client services, urgency and scarcity applies to the fact that there's a limit on your availability, your capacity, and your time. If the prospective client doesn't act now, they might lose that spot in your workflow. They might lose that open position or the ability to get started that next week, right? They might lose the opportunity for you to be able to fit their project in by their deadline. So if you're almost booked out or you have very little time available in your schedule, let prospective clients know. Say something like, we're almost completely booked solid. We would love to work with you on your exciting project, but if we don't receive the signed contract by this certain date, we aren't going to be able to start your project until, 3 months later. If the client has a strict launch deadline, but they're dragging their feet about signing the contract, let them know, if we don't have a signed contract by a certain date, we will no longer be able to work within your deadline or within the initial timeline we discussed. Sales tactic number 12, ask for the sale, right? The sales process doesn't end until you have a signed contract in hand and the first non-refundable deposit is paid. So if you stop actively courting a potential new client, you're probably going to lose the sale. It's imperative that you stay in contact, follow up, and stay top of mind with prospective clients all the way until you get that signed contract or you hear a definitive no. The bigger the project is, the longer the sales process is going to be. So depending on the size of the project, you may want to, stay in touch with the client here and there while they're trying to make a decision on their end. For really large projects that maybe legal has to review the contract, maybe other stakeholders, other people in the company have to review the process. Maybe they have to get buy-in from certain departments, whatever it is. The key is until that contract sign, you need to stay top of mind. So instead of following up constantly and nagging and asking about the contract, check in with that prospective client by sending them a link to an article or a resource or something that's relevant to the project that they're considering hiring you for. Or reach out and offer to answer any questions that they have or to provide more information. Or offer, if you're local, to come in and meet with all the stakeholders so they can get to know you. Or maybe if you haven't heard from them a while and you really want to kind of get it resolved, reach out and share an idea that you had for their project, right? Let them know that you've been thinking about the project, you're excited to get started, and you had an idea that you wanted to run by them. Or maybe send them a snail mail note, a handwritten note in the mail that just says, hey, thanks for the opportunity to talk about your project. I really hope that we get the chance to work together. And sales tactic 13 is reinforce your expertise. When the sales call is over, reinforce your expertise by providing the client with an opportunity to learn something new from you, right? Let the client know that you gave a talk at a certain event and it's relevant to their project, and send them a link to your slide deck or to the video of your presentation. Send the client a link to a blog post that you wrote on a topic that's relevant to their project or a problem or a need that they're facing in their business. Provide them a link to a guest post you wrote on another website, right? You're showing them that other people are hiring you to share your expertise. Or share a link to a webinar or an online training that you offered, and say, hey, you might want to check this out. This is a training that I did, and let them go check it out and see you in action, right? Providing prospective clients these kind of resources reinforces the fact that other people are hiring you, other people trust you, other people are learning from you, and they should too. Making more sales and getting more freelance clients is easier than you think. As you can see from these 13 sales tactics, you can close sales a lot faster without having to put in tons of extra work. None of these tactics are really difficult. None are super technical. It just requires you to put a little more thought into how you're interacting with your clients and the information that you provide to your prospects. So next steps for you are to review your sales process, document it step by step, then compare your sales process with this list to see where you could add something extra to help get their clients to that surprise and delight part of the experience faster, right? See where you can over deliver or you can really wow them with something that they weren't expecting. I am Jennifer Bourne, and again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a great day.